Hi, I'm Dawn with Drucker Diagnostics, and today we're going to review the basic operations of your SERO 12 centrifuge. If you're looking for something specific, look at the bottom of your screen. This video is divided into chapters, so you can easily find what you need. SERO 12 Basic Operations Guide. Part 1. Setting up the SERO 12. Let's start by making sure we have all of our necessary accessories. These came out of the accessory kit, the bag packed on top of your centrifuge. You'll need your power cord and your centrifuge. If you're missing anything, please contact Drucker Diagnostics. Start by placing the centrifuge on a flat, level, sturdy surface. Leave at least 6 inches, 15 centimeters, of space on all sides and at least 21 inches, 54 centimeters, of height above the lid so you can easily open it. Locate the power cord that was included in the accessories kit when you unpacked your SERO 12. Plug it into the back of your centrifuge and then into the wall. Make sure your outlet is easily accessible so you can unplug your centrifuge for cleaning and maintenance. Locate the power switch on the back of your SERO 12. Flip this switch to the on position. With the SERO 12 plugged in and switched on, its displays will illuminate. Now, we're ready to start using our centrifuge. Your SERO 12 has an auto pop lid that locks securely during a run and pops open when the spin is done. It may be locked when your centrifuge arrives from our factory. To unlock the centrifuge, we'll need to look at the control panel. To unlock the centrifuge, press the Stop Unlock button. If you'd like a more in-depth overview of these controls, a link to a full overview video is on your screen now. When you press the button, the centrifuge lid will pop open. You can lift it and see the rotor here inside. Your SERO 12 comes with its rotor installed and ready to run. All we need to do is place our tubes. You can see the slots all around the rotor. Simply place one tube in each. When the tubes are properly seated, you will be able to move them slightly. This is by design. That's what allows them to rise into their spin position. They do not click or snap into place. Your SERO 12 has only authentic Drucker Diagnostics parts, including the rotor. You should only use authentic Drucker Diagnostics parts in your centrifuge, as anything else may damage your centrifuge or even be dangerous. Now that we have our SERO 12 set up, we can look at our controls. Part 2, Controls Overview. Your SERO 12 has all of its controls right here on the front panel. First, the RPM screen, which displays the currently selected speed in RPMs. The RPMs can be adjusted using the buttons next to the screen. A single press up increases by 50 and a press down decreases by 50. As we adjust, the RPM shown on the screen will adjust. If you overshoot or undershoot your desired RPM, you can always use the up or down buttons until you reach your selected RPM. The RCFXG button displays the G-force in the RPM window. If you press and hold RCFXG, you can adjust by G-force using the buttons next to the RPM window. These 3 indicator lights show the status of your SERO 12. The left light is illuminated when it's running. The middle light is illuminated when the lid is closed and locked. The lid is always locked when the centrifuge runs, so anytime the left light is illuminated, the middle one will be too. And the right light illuminates when the lid is opening after Stop Unlock is pressed. Once the lid has popped open, this light will go dark. The auto pop lid will automatically unlock and pop open at the end of a cycle, so you can easily remove your samples. If the lid is closed, you can open it with the Stop Unlock button. If the centrifuge is at rest, the lid will immediately pop open. If the centrifuge is running, this will stop it mid-spin. The Start button starts the centrifuge. When you press Start, the SERO 12 will run whatever settings are currently displayed on its screens. The time display shows the selected time in minutes and seconds. Like RPM, time can be adjusted using the up and down arrow buttons next to it. The time shown on the screen will dynamically adjust as you raise or lower it. A single press will raise or lower time by 5 seconds. Press and hold to raise or lower time by 15-second increments instead. Also, like with RPM, if you overshoot or undershoot your desired time, you can use the up and down buttons to get back to your preferred range. When you start your centrifuge, the time screen becomes a countdown timer, showing how much time remains. Your centrifuge will spin for a little while before the timer starts counting down. That's because the countdown doesn't start until your centrifuge is up to speed. That way, your tubes get spun at the appropriate speed for the appropriate time. The brake setting controls whether brake will be applied as the centrifuge slows down at the end of each cycle. Brake can either be toggled on or off. To adjust the brake setting, press the menu button. Brake should be displayed in the RPM screen. Use the up and down arrows next to the time screen to toggle the brake setting on or off. Once your brake setting is as desired, press Menu to exit the menu. The centrifuge will run with the selected brake setting until you change it or until you load a saved setting with a different brake setting. More on saved settings in a minute. The Cycle button switches between saved settings, and the display next to it shows the number of the currently selected cycle. A dash means you have no saved cycle selected. Your SERO 12 can hold up to 10 saved cycles. A saved cycle is a combination of RPM, time, and brake setting stored in system memory for easy recall later. The system automatically assigns each one a number, visible in the window next to the Cycle button. The centrifuge will automatically name the cycle as well. MEM4 for the first one, MEM5 for the second, and so on. We can create a new saved cycle by adjusting our centrifuge as desired and then press and hold the Cycle button. And those are your controls. Now let's look at how to load your SERO 12 and spin your first samples. Part 3, Spinning Samples. Your SERO 12 is set up, and now we're ready for our first spin. Before we can spin a cycle, we need to make sure that the centrifuge is correctly loaded. That means the samples it will spin are balanced. Like any centrifuge, the SERO 12 should always be run with a balanced load. This helps keep the lab safe and ensures the maximum lifespan for your centrifuge. First, load your samples. When loading your samples, opposing tubes must be of equal weight. So if we're loading 2 tubes, just put them across from each other. If it's 3, make a triangle, 4, a square, and so on. If you're spinning an odd number of tubes, you'll need a counterbalance tube. This should be an identical tube filled with an equivalent volume of water from the tube across from it. The counterbalance should be roughly the same weight as your filled tube. With your samples loaded and balanced, you're ready to spin. Close the lid. Next, adjust your settings. You can adjust RPM and time using the arrow buttons next to the display windows. For a more detailed guide, click the link on your screen now. In our case, we're going to run 3400 RPM for 30 seconds, but you can run whatever settings you like. Once you're done programming, double-check your settings. Next, press the Start button. The rotor will begin to spin, accelerating until it reaches your selected RPM. It will then run for your chosen time. You can see time remaining on the time screen. Once the run is complete, the centrifuge will begin to slow down. When the rotor is fully stopped, the centrifuge will beep, and the auto pop lid will automatically pop open, allowing you to retrieve your spun samples. And that's all there is to it. You just ran your first cycle. Now let's look at how you should clean and maintain your SERO 12. Part 4, Cleaning and Maintaining. Your SERO 12 requires no regular maintenance. Cleaning is easy too. Start by turning your SERO 12 off. Then unplug it from the wall. Your centrifuge should always be off and unplugged before you do any kind of cleaning. Make sure to wear PPE in accordance with your lab's policies. Use isopropyl alcohol or 10% 5500 ppm bleach solution to clean. Only the approved isopropyl alcohol or 10% bleach solution should be used. Any other substance is not approved and may cause damage to your centrifuge or void the warranty. Apply your isopropyl alcohol or 10% bleach solution with a cloth. Do not submerge the centrifuge in water. If necessary, the rotor may be removed for easier cleaning. Links to our videos on how to remove and reinstall the rotor are popping up on your screen now. Dry your SERO 12 immediately after you've finished cleaning and disinfecting, and be sure it's plugged in and turned on so it's ready for the next use. And that brings us to the end of our basic operations guide for the SERO 12. We set up our centrifuge and reviewed its accessories. We reviewed our controls and spun our first cycle. And we learned how to clean and maintain it. If you have any other questions about your SERO 12, you can always contact Drucker Diagnostics and we'll be happy to help. Thanks for watching and have a great day.